Character design is provided by Demon Arty. Be sure to check her out over on her social media platforms. Links to her Twitter and Instagram are going to be in the description down below. Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
Amity PCA 87454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. The Owl House, Episode 2, Season 2, Escaping Expulsion. And here's the thing. There's going to be the people out there that they just love 14-year-old girls going out with each other. And that's all they need. They don't need anything else. Them blushing, them looking at each other, that being lovey-dovey. That's literally, so nothing else matters. If that's all you care about, episode's a 10 out of 10. Shut off the review. You have everything you could have ever wanted out of a story. Me, on the other hand, I don't care about the shipping aspect of it because the show isn't about that. This isn't a romantic comedy, you know. It's supposed to be like an adventure show about like magic and everything. And that's the problem. The magic is there's no rules. I know this is a pretty soft magic system, but they're just this whole with the runes and the using the pieces of paper. It makes no sense because early on when Luce was using this magic, like if she wanted to make a big ice pillar, she had to draw a big symbol, big rune. Now it's just on a piece of paper and it can do anything. Like, so does it go off your thoughts? Like if you think, okay, make a giant ice swan, it will make it? Like, what how does this work? And they of course, they don't explain anything. They just do whatever they want. And now they're just throwing in like technology into this. Like they have like guns and stuff. This show has gone so off the rails with the magic system. And I don't know, the stuff with Ida and Lilith learning how to use the spells, like combining them and figuring out how it's like a language and you can say things like in a sentence, kind of reminds me a lot of the dragon speak in Elder Scrolls, where you can combine words and you can make things happen. So that's kind of cool. But this whole everything else, I don't know. It's just, ugh. And again, I don't care about the relationship stuff. It does nothing for me. I don't care if it happens. I don't care if it doesn't happen. And we get to meet Amity's parents, and they're just super evil. Like, I thought for a moment, for a second, oh, maybe they'll be subtle. Maybe we'll see why the mom's this way. No, she's just straight up evil. Like, but no, nothing. I'm going to kill a kid on stage in front of everybody to sell a few abominations. What the fuck? Whatever. We open up, we see like Blight Industries. Okay, get it. Tony Stark, we get it. And there's some secret sale. And then we get to see the twins. Again, I'm awful with names. They're out there. She's cute as hell. But why don't they participate in the helping? Why does it have to be Amity? Why can't they do anything except for hold the door? So people come in, we hear some lady talking, and it's Amity's mom. And she's, oh, welcome, because they sell weapons and stuff. Okay, whatever. That's the opening. Then we get into the actual episode. Like they show the opening, and then the episode starts up. And Luce is teaching the magic. And again, as long as you have the piece of paper, and it can do anything. There is no limit to this magic. I thought you had to at least draw a big symbol to make a big spell. Nope, you can just have this little piece of paper and make this giant, all these vines come out. I know people have complained, you nitpick everything. This is a magic system that could be pretty badass and really cool. And they just play it up as this goofiness. And look at this. How many people do you need on a story? A story this simple? This is why the magic system and everything in the show is like this. There's too many damn cooks in the kitchen and it's making a mess. You do not make a good story by committee. And this is a story by committee. Ridiculous. But she's teaching, she's like the teacher now. She gets to teach Lilith and Ida, which is a funny, the juxtaposition of that teacher and student thing. But Luce, you're an awful student. And who the hell are you to tell anyone to learn the basics when you refuse to learn the basics? You want to run around school and act like a damn fool all the time. But you think, oh, there's a good opportunity for her to learn. Like, oh, wow, I was a horrible student. Nope, Luce is just everything. She's the best teacher, the best at everything, whatever. But she teaches the 4 elements. And I thought it was weird that she's like, I haven't found anything new yet. But we see her, she discovered these other elements just by looking at stuff. I looked at the snow and there it was. Oh, I looked at fire, there it is. Like, what? She was looking into a flower and she saw that symbol. What sense does that make? Why couldn't she have gone like found an ancient book and some ancient catacomb and then she had to go like do like something like an adventure? So I guess there's only the 4 basic elements. Like there is no other thing to learn. I guess, but there should be more, right? Well, just literally 4 symbols. But she's like, these are the basic elements of the building blocks. And of course, Lilith is like raising her hand. It's like, is this right, teacher? Like she wants to be praised as like the best student. And then there's Edith scratching on her. She's not even writing on paper. She like had a little knife and she was like digging into her desk. Oh, look, I'm going to mix them together. And they just like, kind of just fizzle out. But she's onto something. But it's like, oh no, just practice the fundamentals. Oh, fundamentals are for losers. And then of course, Hootie's there. Oh, wow, this is great. And him and Lilith, I like them together because he's such a happy-go-lucky nonsense character, and Lilith is like by the book, you know, but they make good friends because they do care about each other. I like it. I love their dynamic. It's really cool. I guess it's time for Luce to go to school, regular school, and they're like, you know, they're gonna leave King in charge, like he's gonna do anything. And Edith's like, yeah, teacher's gone, we can do whatever we want. And of course Lilith is like, you need to follow the rules, and then she does this little bit.
You can only do that through memorization, repetition, and following the rules.
Well, I'm more interested in experimentation, innovation, and laughing at tools. Like you! Ah!
Just these two are so fun together. I absolutely love them together. But she's like, I'm going to do things my way. And of course, Lilith is going to learn the basics and build upon a foundation of basic knowledge. While Ida I'm going to experiment, which is, both of these things are good. But if you got to have a basic foundation. But Ida's not that kind of girl. She gets to class or to the school and she's like, oh, it's my first day in school. You know, after everything that went down, she gets in there, she sees her friends and they just all start crying. These are teenagers. They act like they're 10 years old at the most. Teenagers don't act like this, but in the world of 2021, you're a forever child. Then they all hug and everything. And then I do like the fact that Gus is growing up. Like he's taller and his face is shaped different. His voice is different.
It's cool. I just hope it helps Ida learn my name. She keeps calling me Goops.
Hey, Goops.
It's already spreading.
Don't know if I like it. The problem with it is he visually looks older, his voice is deeper, but he still acts like a complete child. Like you'll see in this episode, he like does like little kid things that if you saw like a 13, 14-year-old dude, you'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you? But then Amity's there and she's all kind of like, oh, hi, Luce. In commemoration of you coming back, I made you this. Oh my goodness. Are these things still alive in this thing? That's so gross. It's so creepy. But of course, look at that face. That's my face. That is so like, there's living fairies in this thing. But of course she gave it to her and she's not going to be mean about it. But she's like, oh, thank you. She's all blushy face. Here you go. Here's your blushy faces. I know it is literally gold, diamond encrusted gold to Twitter for little girls to be blushing around each other. God, they love it so much. She's like, yeah, okay, let's, get back to class. But then you hear her over the mic, like the bump is like, hey, you can't be in here. Oh, I'm the head of the PTA or whatever. And it's Amity's mom calls them all up there. Oh, look, we got those other girls. What were their names? Basha. I don't know this other girl's name, but she was cool. I like her hair. They get called up to the principal's office and she's like, I need Luce, Willow, Gus, and you too, Amity, up to the principal's office. So they get called up there. Here we have another where this has happened a lot. It happened in Luca. It happened here where the dad is just kind of this aloof idiot and the mom runs the show. Like she's super aggressive and does everything and the husband just goes along with it. Okay, can we just have a nice married couple that just, honest to God, one of them's not a complete buffoon? I don't want, it's like saying I want the wife to be an idiot. How about they both care about their kids? But I guess she's just this domineering, complete witch of a woman, no pun intended. She is awful. So she's basically saying, all the trouble you caused my Amity. She's going to be, she's losing, grades. She's like falling behind and it's because of you three. And she gets them expelled, like straight up. And and then Bump is like, it's out of my hands. So this lady who runs the PTA is more powerful than the principal. What sense does that make? Then I guess they show this in open, if you forgot to mention, that little amulet she wears, she can like talk to her daughter like telepathically with that. Well, that's kind of fun. I thought that was going to come up another like for like some type of something important, but it kind of really doesn't. She's like, yeah, kick these kids out so my daughter can study and focus on schoolwork. He goes along with it and the mom, it just makes all the rules. And then everyone's like, hey, you can't do that. You can't just kick us out. Then Lucy's like, Amity, well, say something. She says nothing. Because that's her mom. What's she going to do? Stand up to her mom? Like, she's going to if she's willing to do this kind of stuff, and we see later on the kind of things that she's willing to do, yeah, no. Did she kill her daughter? I don't know. Maybe. Those creepy dudes pull them out, throw them out of class, and then look at that nasty, evil witch face. I want to say the witch word, but with the B, but I don't want to get, try to keep it clean. But that's what she is. Look at that. This lady's awful. She dummy thick, but she awful. Then, look at that. Look how sad she looks. Her friends got expelled. And this is what I was talking about.
My dad can't find out about this. I guess I'll have to start surviving off the land. This is impossible.
This older voice with this silly ass actions. I'm glad you got an older voice, Gus. And you look at me, but that maturity, you got to get a little bit better. But look at that. They're all like sad that they got kicked out. Then here she comes walking down. Doesn't even give them like they're even there. She just walks right past them. This lady is awful. She's like, hey, Amity's mom, well, what's the deal? Why Mrs. Blythe? Why did you do that? This isn't, you shouldn't have done that to them. Willow and Gus deserve better. I do like this about Luce. She cares more about her friends getting back in school than she does herself. Okay, I do like that. Then she's like, oh, hello, human thing. She just treats her like nothing. This is odd. I think she's trying to set her up, right? Oh, I love your tenacity. Get a card, like one of her business cards here. We can talk about this. So I'm thinking, well, she's going to try to, first I thought she was going to try to use her for like experiments or something. Like, I want to test things on a human. No, she just wanted to kill her. And no joke, she just wanted to literally murder a child. He gets the card and Luce is looking at it. She's kind of confused. Then Gus bites the card and like starts to eat it. Funny is hard. It is very difficult to make someone laugh. It's easy to make someone cry, difficult to make someone laugh. And these are just acting like a 5-year-old is funny when you're a teenager. I know Gus is younger than everyone, but they're supposed to show him like growing up a little bit. The maturity needs to come along with her. And when I said earlier, dummy thick, here we go. Amity's mom, she's a Pixar mom. Woo-wee! Anyways, get back to class, and not like a real class. It's Edith's trying to figure out ways to combine magic. And I do apologize. The mom and dad have names. They said them like twice. It takes me forever to learn a name. I will probably never learn their names. That's the way it is. She like stacks all the spells up like in a card tower, and she like, oh, watch this. And King's like, this ain't even gonna work. Oh, we're gonna find out. And then it like all falls and it just all fizzles out. It's not working. But Ida's not stupid. She may be a little weird and she has a very particular process of how she does things, but she's thinking here, there's got to be a way to perform more magic, to do more things. But look at Lilith. She's like combining spells, like folding the paper. And look at this. Look, she's starting to master this the rune magic with the symbols. She even makes like a swan hootie. Like how cool that is. I love them together. They're so cute. And look how pissed off Ida is. Like, yeah, she's all mad. She's like, forget this. I'm gonna be able to combine these spells, and I'm not gonna have to listen to Lilith. But even King's like, come on, fundamentals. Look at Lilith. She's doing a pretty good job. If you just would go talk to her and work together, you probably can come up with something, to make this work. But she's a rival. She's not gonna look at these band posters. I love them. They're funny as hell. But they're like, okay, we got a pill to bump to get us back in the school. Dum-dums, weren't you listening? He said it was out of his hands. He said it wasn't up to him. So why are you going to try to appeal to bump? AKA, gotta waste time in the episode. So they try to like butter him up. Like, look at these sad photos. Oh, we miss you so much. Look at this drawing. I absolutely love it. You're our favorite principal. And it's like breaking his heart because he can't like let them back in. They try to sneak in as teachers. They get kicked out. Look at his little tear in his eye. They try to fly into class. They get kicked out. But he's sad. See, this is a way to ruin something that's supposed to be like, oh, he actually cares about him. Just because things are boring? Why can't he just let it be sweet and kind? Whatever. They're outside and they're just super sad about being kicked out of school. Then the Ravens show up. So they have Raven cell phone type things, but they also have those scrolls that can send messages and pictures. And they also have like orbs that are like televisions and they can do messages that way. Stop trying to make human technology, but like, wouldn't it be funny if a cell phone was a crow? It's stupid. It's just, not only is it a crow that's like a cell phone because the dads can talk to him. And of course, Gus's dad's like a news guy. So he does it like a news report. Oh, Gus has been grounded to a further day. Like he does a whole thing. But these crows pick them up and fly them away. Okay, so they flew away, and then Lucy's Amity. She's like, oh, and then Amity apologizes. I'm sorry I was a coward with my mom, but you have to understand, it's your freaking mom. What are you going to do? Now, obviously, your mom's like at the very least, she is mentally and verbally abusive. We don't know if she's physically abusive. They would never show that in a cartoon, but I can only imagine if someone's willing to go to the lengths that she did, that she would actually be physically abusive too. But Lucy's like, no, it's okay, but your mom wants to talk to me, and maybe we could talk this through. And then Amity's like, no, do not talk to my mom. That's a bad idea. And, you know, she feels super bad. And then like, come on, Lucy. Of course, Lucy's always looking on the bright side of things. That's a good aspect to have. It's a good trait to have, but it also can lead you in a lot of trouble. Amity dropped a bunch of books. She picks them up. And then, of course, look at her. She's on one knee like she's proposing. We know the tricks. Nobody cares but Twitter. Then she's like, no, don't do that. It's a bad idea. Don't go talk to my mom. But she sees the card. And, of course, Lucy's going to do it. Get back to Ida, and Ida's like stacked all the magic together. Like she's like mixing up all the symbols and everything. So she makes a little ice cubes, like, it worked. But I guess she mixed it with like the fire and then also with the light and everything. So it's starting to like spiky and grow. I'm like, this thing's going to freaking explode. And yeah, it's starting to freeze up the house. Like, oh, Ida, what the hell did you do this time? Get to Luce. She knocks on the door, and she brought flowers, but she just picked them right out of the garden. Like, don't do that. But an abomination answers the door, and she gets kind of scared, but it's like a butler. I guess they just use abominations for everything. Luce tries to make a cute little cat face, but it doesn't really work. They get down to the basement, and she's like, oh, wow, Miss Blythe, I'm here to talk to you about what happened. I need, you let us back in school. I'm sorry that all this, how you're upset, but come on, seriously. If anything, just let Willow and Gus get back into school, if you don't like me. Then, she kind of just more condescending and really crappy to her. Look at this. Look how she this lady's a witch with a B. That's what she is. And then, you know what? Forget you, you're being like such a freaking awful person. It's like, oh, maybe we can work out a deal. I got this little presentation tonight. She's like, oh, okay, I'll help with the presentation and let us back in school. She's like, oh yeah, I'll think about it. So I go straight to the presentation, and it's like a weapons presentation. And look at this girl. Damn. She's freaking lumpy, thick, and all over the place. Then Lucy's like, oh no, jeez. She's trying to talk to the husband. He seems like a level-headed guy, but he's allowing his wife to torture a little girl. He's evil too. Unless she has some type of mind control on him or something, but I don't think that's the case. I think she's just aloof and he doesn't care. He's like, oh, we make self-defense things. Oh, okay, for like home security, but mostly in weapons. And she's like, oh no. Then we see there's her grenade launcher thing. I don't like technology in this, but whatever. She's shooting it. She's like, oh, if you don't want to use abominations, you can use like it's a sticky thing. So it's like a non-lethal weapon. But if you want lethal, like turns into like a flamethrower. And look at Lucy like, oh my God, lady's going to freaking kill me. Amity gets home and she's like, okay, Mom, I'm ready for the show. And then the mom's like, we found a replacement. She's like, who could it be? And look at this face. She knows exactly who it is. This face is cute. It's hilarious. Get to Willow, and her dads are like, hey, you're not in school anymore, but here's a bunch of books you can learn. And like they stack them all up and everything. And, oh, you better learn this and the life cycle of frogs. And who's this frog? Okay, I love Amphibious so much. Hop Pop's awesome. This is great. I want to read this book. And she's like, oh, jeez. Then a little Gus appears, a little like a illusion Gus. The other dad comes in. I don't know if her fathers have names, but there's the white one and the black one. Okay, the white father comes in and he's like, and another thing, Willow. And then she sees like the little Gus and he's like, oh, okay, he just walks out. Okay, that was cool that he allowed his daughter to talk to her friend. And he respected that at least because she's already in enough trouble. She's already going through enough. That was kind of cool. But Gus is outside. Amity's in trouble. Amity's there too. Luce is in trouble. We have to go save her. They get outside the house. And I thought this was very weird.
No. I'll distract them with illusions of beautiful lady guards.
This isn't a cartoon from the 40s, Gus. We need a better plan.
Because how could they have knowledge of this? So time, so in the 1940s, it was 1940s in the magic world in the Boiling Isle. So what? It's a funny joke. It just doesn't make any damn sense. But I do like Gus's plan. I'll make some like lady guards and we'll distract them. You should have given it a shot, right? But they're all fighting. Oh, we just bust through the front door and all these things. And then the twins show up and like, hey, just put on some cloaks and pretend to be just one of the people. Super cool of her brother and sister to help out the little sister like this. And Yeah, she's super cute. Hey, you take her help, she's awesome. Throws on the cloaks, but then puts the stupid hex things on him, and then we get an Avatar reference. To a much better show. But they get in there and they see that Luce is like defending her life. She would have been happy killing this girl. She wanted to kill Luce. There's no other explanation. In the comments, let me know. Do you think she would have stopped and like not physically hurt her? Did she just want to embarrass her? But it looks like she wanted to kill her. So this thing's like shooting stuff at her. Luce is putting up some defenses, but it's this thing's like breaking through him. Grabs her, and then right before the final blow, she's like, "Oh, and one last thing. This is gonna really blow your socks off." And Luce's like, "Oh, great, just one more thing." And I guess there's this giant abomination that it has like power armor, so it's like enhanced. So it's not just a regular abomination, it also has like armor too. So this thing's going to fight Luce, and it won't stop till it destroys its target. So she wants to kill her. So it's murder a child. Then like, "Oh no, we gotta go help her." And then Amity, gets her courage and runs up there. We don't see what's gonna happen. She starts to fight the robot and knocks her up like to the rafters, which is pretty funny. And she's just cool with it. Like completely 100% cool with killing this kid because she like literally goes, "Oh, this is such a great invention. It totally kicked my butt. There's no way I can beat it." Then the dad's like, "That's true." He's talking to his wife. You proved your point, but remember, this doesn't stop till its target's destroyed. And then it grabs her, then it throws her up to the rafters. The smile, the iteration of wanting to murder a child. Not very subtle, are we, Disney? Gets thrown up to the rafters. "Oh, thank God he can't catch me here." And then it jumps up there too because it can jump really high. She's shooting ice shards at it and things, but it's really doing nothing. Makes an ice sword. She's getting knocked around. Just on the physicality, this thing, I'm assuming, can probably lift hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. It should be able to swing that sword, and when she blocked it, it should have tore her arms off. There's no way she could block it. It doesn't make any sense. Amity gets up there, and she's going to help defend her friend, because this is what I thought about this whole situation. If it's just an abomination, couldn't you, in fact, just dispel it? Like, take its energy away from, like, if you can raise an abomination, can't you just, like, make it melt back to nothing again? So she kind of almost does that. She makes it stop and pulls it back, but it's able to kind of fight it off. Luce is able to kind of save herself. She hits the rope and falls like half an inch, but it makes like a giant blade. It is going to murder her. Almost gets there. Amity stops it again. This should be like in a cool like fantasy Dungeons and Dragons thing, but then we get this line that goes along. Great animation.
Stay away from my loot. Amity?
I don't like that. No one belongs to you. There was a line like this in Steven Universe, and I brought it up. This is back when I actually interacted with fandoms, and everyone freaking ate my lunch. I don't like it. She does not belong to you. She doesn't belong to anybody. I don't. "Oh, you're mine." No, that's odd. Don't ever say that. But she's going to go save her girlfriend. Get back to Lilith, and she made Hootie a pimp, freaking like gangster chain. How cool is that? That thing is still growing in there. Lilith's like, "Ida, are you in trouble, or are you just making noises?" She's like, "Oh no, everything's fine." And then King gets captured by the thing. She's like, "Okay, Lilith, I need your help." Lilith busts in there. She's like, "Oh, look what I did." She's like, "Oh wow, look at this." But we're gonna beat this with using fundamentals and a couple of new ideas, because she's like, "Oh, go ahead and show me what you're gonna do." She's like, "No, I actually was combining things." We don't see what happens. Cut right back to the fight, and it's okay. And this is this would be more powerful if the mom wasn't so evil. Like, you made her so evil, the choice was easy. "Amity, what are you doing? You're ruining Marcel's." And then she takes her necklace off and breaks it. She's like, "No, mother, you're not going to hurt my friend." The Willow and Gus, and the whole speech is great. More blushy faces. But this ending line.
They listen to each other. They make me think about the kind of person I really want to be.
Yes, being a good person. Even though, as much as I complain about Willow and Gus and Amity and how they're kind of act like children all the time, they're good people. I rather them act like kids and be good people than be serious and act like these mean, nasty, evil adults. I will concede that. So super good speech. I like that. She's able to like hold it back a little bit, but this thing's pretty powerful. And then, Luce jumps up there and they get back to back. Again, more blushy faces. My goodness, the blushy faces. They're selling a whole bunch. Again, the audience is watching this. Amity gives her a ultimatum. "Hey, we'll let this thing beat us, and then, you leave my friends alone, let them go back to school, or I'm going to tear this thing apart and you lose all your sales. She's getting all pissed off, and then fine, whatever, just do it. Then I do like the fact that Luce was like, can you even beat this thing? She's like, shut the hell up. I don't think I can. But she buys into it. It does like a hammer slam on them, but it was like a hollow hammer. So it didn't really hit them, and they just pretended to be hurt. The crowd goes wild that 14-year-old girls were murdered in front of them. What sense does that make? So you're going to buy this thing because it can kill children. This is what happens when you have too many writers on the plot. Then they're like, the mom's like, forget that. You're still expelled. I don't give a crap. Then the husband's like, you made a deal. You have to honor your deal. And look, it's good for sales and stuff. Okay, fine, whatever. And then the husband just wanders off again because he's like a weirdo. And he's like, oh, look, a butterfly. Lilith and Ida are talking, and then they kind of come to the conclusion because like, how did you stop that thing? Like they do the whole like, why do this weird flashback? Why not just show it? Because they show it anyways. These symbols, these glyphs, these runes, they're like a language. And when you were doing yours and combining them all, it was like screaming 5 words at once. The spell was confused because it draws itself from the energy that's around us. But if you can write it out, like in a sentence, you can do all kinds of things. So maybe there's only 4 base spells, but the way that you combine them in the sentences and the words and how you combine it. So you can probably string together a fire, 2 ice, a ground, a fire, and like it will make different things. So like you can make different kind of combinations. So she's able to turn the thing just into snow. And super cool. So I guess they learned from each other and everything. And Luce comes home like, hey, look what we did. We made us some cool magic. And she's like, oh, I'm too tired. We'll finish this in the morning. Like I love like raises her hand. It's so adorable. She like raises her hand. Yes. Look, do I get extra credit? And she made like a statue of like Luce is like this, like this ancient sage of a person. And then she's like at her feet. Oh, wow, that's awesome. But look what I can do. She like made a little ice cube. Oh, extra credit for everyone. And then get like little golden stars. That was super cute. They sold a bunch of those abomination machines. The Owl Golden Knight guy shows up and he's like, oh, that was a wonderful presentation, but you're not going to be selling anything. The Emperor wants to buy all of these, all of your super abominations. And she's like, oh, that's wonderful. He's like, yeah, the Emperor doesn't like people having their own personal armies. So the Emperor is anti-Second Amendment. I say people should be able to own whatever abominations they want. They shall not infringe. So yeah, that's this episode. I really don't care about the blushy faces. I don't care. They can start dating, kissing, holding hands. I don't care. What I do care about is a busted ass magic system that doesn't make any damn sense. So there is no limit. You didn't have to draw the bigger glyph to make a bigger spell. You didn't have to draw multiple. Like it just doesn't sit with me that there is no flaw in the system. There needs to be something that happens. Maybe since they've been using the magic so much, it's actually not environmentally safe. Make it to where it actually starts to drain the magic of the planet. And since only a couple of people are using it, it's not a big problem. But if this glyph magic's being used by everyone, it actually would be like wasting gasoline. Like there's only so much of it in the planet. There needs to be something needs to happen to where this isn't like the perfect magic system, because why would they ever stop using it? Unless the Emperor made everyone forget or did something because it was too powerful. I don't know. But just an okay episode. All those weird plot lines about like how does this technology even work? The magic just being all nilly-willy, and I don't know. It's just an okay episode. It might be kind of bad. It didn't really do it for me. Crimson's in here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, you can contact us on any of the social media platforms in the description down below. And while you're here, be sure to click on one of the videos over on the right.